We are fortunate to live upwind of the Pyre, and life continues under a blue sky. New Zealand copper butterflies have found a native broom planted behind my studio. The flowers and small butterfly coincide perfectly. Both emerge a few days into the new year. A great many insects arrive to feed, including magpie moths. When we arrived, there were very few coppers. Food plant was limiting for both adults and caterpillars. And during our first 2 years, I saw only 4 flying in a clearing by the stream in the bush. These are not rare butterflies. Here they lay on Muhlenbecker australis, a plant that has been mostly grazed out in our bush. And even conservation groups sometimes grub it out because it is a strangler. I reinstated the plant close by the house, and another related species commonly found in coastal regions. The coppers appear happy to lay on either, and we now have a substantial colony. As summer moves to autumn, the natives are producing seeds, and old flax stems make a convenient perch. But it is the eastern rosella that comes for the seed, an attractive parrot, but once again a bird out of place. Both red and yellow crowned parakeets would be more appropriate. They were once widespread, but are now rare, and we are in any case out of their present range. The native parakeets would most likely be outcompeted by the commonly seen rosella, which, if you have an orchard, is something of a pest. Weed control gets easier as the garden matures, but in these ideal growing conditions the battle is never won. After 8 years we are moving on, and it is essential to fence the bush to protect it from stock that might be here in the future. I'd prefer to plant our whole block to natives, but to have no fenced pasture would make our place unsaleable. The simple fact is, keeping stock is a lifestyle choice here, and that's not my idea of a lifestyle. For me, it's no life at all. So presently I'm preoccupied with fence posts and wire. If we wanted meat, we'd go to the butcher's, and if we were staying, my priority would remain the native plants and birds. Now, I'm not very fond of gates and fences, but you really have to have them if you want to put a covenant on your land here. A couple of my neighbours have told me that when they moved house, the people that moved in chopped down all their trees, and that's not something I really want to happen here. On the day before we leave, Alice and I are still planting trees. Alice a totara on the gully slopes, whilst I plant along a corridor I've created along the fence line, which one day might help birds move from one area to another. Double fence lines and consequential reduction of pasture might seem like madness to some, but done selectively they offer shade to stock, act as a windbreak and benefit the natural environment. The last tree to go in might one day become a mighty totara and live for 1,000 years, along with many other trees now protected by a Queen's Covenant here. Barring broken fences or climate change, the forest might return to former glory. And perhaps one day, the many extraordinary native birds that once lived here will return.